Hi, I'm Peter,
And I'm Will.
and you're watching Anderson Jazz Jams.
Episode number 15.
This channel is supported by our generous Patreons that give as little as $1 a month, and you can find the link below.
This week we're going to play a song composed by Duke Ellington that was famously recorded with the saxophonist John Coltrane. It's called Purple Gazelle.
This week on Technique Tips, we're going to talk about sight reading.
Sight reading is an incredibly important skill for not only exercising your brain and working out your fingerings and knowledge of music, but also when you're playing in ensembles with intricate arrangements. When I've observed masters of sight reading, whether they be Broadway musicians or big band musicians, classical musicians, they're always scanning the music when they have 10, 20, 30 seconds before the piece is played, and they're looking at the key signature, time signature of course, they're looking at any instructions about the style of the piece, the articulation, and also any important difficult passages that are coming up. It's really going to make it easier to nail the piece right away.
This week on Improve Your Improv, we're going to talk about not being afraid when you're improvising. With beginning students, it's the biggest roadblock into learning how to improvise. Just the fact that a lot of students are bashful performing in front of others. A lot of students just won't play because they don't want to make mistakes in front of their peers. But if you want to progress, if you want to get better, you just have to jump into the deep end, push your fears away, and just do it over and over again. A lot of students who are less talented but have more guts to get up and play actually end up moving ahead faster just because they're doing it more often and they're getting more experience, rather than maybe more talented players who don't have the courage to get up and try it. They end up kind of falling behind.
And like what we mentioned last week, going to jam sessions is a great way to get over some of your fears, or just setting up a performance of any kind. Maybe if there's a family reunion or Christmas or holiday get-together, doing a little performance for your friends and family, it really will go a long way with your confidence.
Kind of like what we do on this channel. For things you don't learn in music school, we're going to talk about having fun on stage. This seems like a small detail, but performers who are getting hired often for tours and jazz festivals really put on a show. The audience really wants to see that you're enjoying what you're doing, and they want to see some interaction between the musicians, smiling, having a good time. These things make a big difference to the audience, and it ultimately gets you hired back.
And in a performance situation, the audience is often unsure about how they feel. They don't feel particularly comfortable, and really our goal as artists is to make the audience feel comfortable. Sometimes the audience doesn't know whether to clap or not, or whether they can make any noise or hoot and holler and that kind of thing. And showing that you're having fun and that you're loose and you're comfortable with walking around the stage and making hand motions and looking at the other musicians, it really translates to the audience. It makes them feel more comfortable, and then once you're having a good time, they'll also have a good time.
This week on Jazz Hangouts, we're going to talk about a great jazz organization in Seattle, Washington called Seattle Jazz Ed. We've been to give workshops and clinics and performances. If you're in the Seattle area, we highly recommend you look them up. Lori DeKoch is one of the directors. Also, one of our friends, Stephen Schatz, is one of the drum instructors. They're just doing really great work. They've got jazz camps in the summer, year-round clinics, and it's just great to see organizations spreading jazz all around the country. You know, it's not just in New York City or Chicago or LA. We really think it's important for all major cities to have some jazz education going. Seattle Jazz Ed is doing a wonderful job.
For this week's Lick of the Week, we've chosen another lick that was coined by the saxophonist Coleman Hawkins, which really blended together the sounds of swing music and bebop music. His lines are so great because they're very useful for playing jazz when you're playing over 2-5-1s. So this particular lick is great to play over a 3-6-2-5-1 progression. It's a melody that he wrote that's based on the jazz song Just You, Just Me, and he called it Spotlight. So that was a 4-bar phrase, and it can be used in the key of B flat in my case over a 3-6-2-5 progression.
This week on Cats You Should Know, we're going to cover one of our best friends who's a pianist named Ehud Asherie. He's a wonderful player, often heard with the great clarinetist Ken Poplawski. He tours as well with the trombonist Wycliffe Gordon. And Ehud is just so versatile. He's really steeped in the stride traditions of the piano. Players like Willie the Lion Smith and Jelly Roll Morton, Count Basie and Duke Ellington, but he's also into a lot of more modern bebop styles and Brazilian music. So we highly recommend you check out Ehud Asherie. We're going to put all of our Patreons on the screen. We really appreciate all their support. You can go on patreon.com and find our page. You can give as little as $1 a month, and then you can go up from there and get different rewards, free CDs and free concert tickets and these type of things. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the notification bell, give us a thumbs up or a comment. We'd love to hear from you what topics you'd like us to cover on this channel. So again, we want to thank you for watching Anderson Jazz Jams.
You can also hear us at Birdland Jazz Club on Sunday, May 26th. If you happen to be in New York City, we're going to be joined by our own 6-piece band playing the music of George Gershwin, and we're going to be featuring Molly Ryan on the vocals. And we've got a lot planned for our channel. We're going to be visiting some very special guests. I won't give it away, but we're really excited about it. So we'll see you next week.